But when her boss sent her flowers mocking the assault, I called my light-skinned Caucasian brother, a man built for violence.
My name is Dennis Roy, and I used to believe in a quiet life. I spent my days restoring old buildings, finding satisfaction in bringing history back to life, piece by piece. I thought my world was stable, predictable, until the night the hospital called. My wife, Claire, was there. That drive to the hospital was the longest of my life, my hands shaking on the wheel. When I saw her, bruised and terrified, a part of me shattered. She could barely speak, but the words she managed to get out changed everything. Her boss, Patrick Harrington, had beaten her. She had refused to falsify some documents, and he had attacked her. She told me he threatened to kill us if she went to the police. His family, she said, owned the city. They were untouchable? I held her as she sobbed, and I felt something inside me break something I couldn't fix with plaster and paint. Back at home, the fear was a physical presence in the room. Claire insisted we do nothing. "They'll destroy us, Dennis," she whispered, and I knew she believed it. I watched the light, the spark that I loved so much, fade from her eyes. Fear had taken something from her that I couldn't restore, not peacefully. The next morning, a bouquet of flowers arrived. The card was from Patrick. It was a mocking, cruel message, a reminder of his power. That was the moment I truly understood. My wife wasn't just scared. She was living in terror, a prisoner in her own home. My mind went to a place I hadn't visited in years. It went to my brother, Damon. Damon wasn't like me. He was shaped by a different kind of world, one of violence and survival. He was the person you called when the system failed, the man who willingly stepped into the darkness when everyone else ran from it. Calling him meant crossing a line I had never imagined touching. But looking at Claire, at the hollowed-out shell she was becoming, I knew the police wouldn't save her. I knew the system was designed to protect men like Patrick Harrington, not women like my wife. So I picked up the phone. Damon arrived the next morning. He was calm, quiet, but his presence filled the room with a dangerous energy. He listened to the story without saying a word, his eyes fixed on mine. Claire begged us not to do anything, not to escalate. She was terrified of what would happen, but I couldn't stand by and watch her disappear. I couldn't let fear win. Damon just nodded. He spent the next few days watching Patrick, learning his habits, his routines. He was methodical, a predator studying his prey. I was drowning in guilt, knowing what I had set in motion, but a grim sense of justice was growing alongside it. On Thursday night, Damon went out. He didn't say where he was going, but I knew. The hours crawled by. Then a short message lit up my phone. "It's done." The next day, the police called. They wanted me to come in for questioning. Patrick Harrington had been attacked, they said, and was in the hospital. I kept my voice steady, my hands from shaking. I stuck to the story we prepared. Claire had fallen. She never accused Patrick of anything. The detective was sharp. He saw through it, I'm sure, but he couldn't prove anything. He mentioned Damon's name, linked him to similar assaults, and warned me not to leave town. The investigation was a constant, suffocating pressure. Every knock on the door, every ringing phone sent a jolt of panic through me. Then a breakthrough from an unexpected place. A woman called me, an ex-employee of Patrick's. She told me he had done the same thing to her years ago, beaten her and then paid her off. She had been too scared to speak up then, but hearing whispers of what happened to Claire gave her courage. She urged me to help expose him, to bring his history into the light. And she wasn't the only one. More women came forward, each with her own story of Patrick's violence. I connected them with an investigative journalist, a woman named Cassandra Bird. She was tenacious and fearless. She published their stories. The city erupted. The narrative of Patrick Harrington, the charming scion of a powerful family, imploded overnight. Public outrage was a firestorm. The Harrington family, cornered and desperate, started to fight back. They pressured the victims, including Claire, to recant their stories. They threatened to release photos. They had somehow obtained photos that proved Damon had been the one to assault Patrick. They gave me an ultimatum. Make Claire lie to the public, say she made it all up, or my brother would go to prison. I was trapped. I had to choose between protecting Claire's truth and saving the brother who had risked his freedom for us. Just when I felt the walls closing in, another victim, Dana, called me. "We're not backing down," she said. "We're all ready to stand together." Her words were like a lightning strike. I realized I wasn't fighting this alone. I needed leverage, something more powerful than their threats. I went back to Cassandra, the journalist. Together we dug deeper. We found a source inside the Harrington Company's HR department. We uncovered official records proving Patrick had assaulted 7 different women over the years, including underage interns. And we found proof that his father had known about it all and actively buried the complaints. It was a time bomb. I arranged a meeting with the Harrington family's private investigator, the one who had threatened me. I laid the files on the table in front of him. I told him he had a choice. He could destroy the photos of my brother and ensure his family left every single one of these women alone forever. Or Cassandra would publish the entire sordid history of the cover-up, complete with names, dates, and evidence that would lead to criminal charges against both Patrick and his father. The investigator's face went pale. He knew he was beaten. Cornered by the threat of total ruin, the Harringtons agreed. The photos of Damon vanished. The pressure campaign stopped. For the first time in weeks, I could breathe. I called Damon and told him he was safe. He was quiet for a moment, and then he said something that stuck with me. He said he was proud of me. Not for calling him, but for finishing the fight. For fighting smart. Months passed. Life slowly, cautiously, returned to a new kind of normal. Claire found a new job, a place where she felt respected and safe. My restoration business grew stronger than ever. The women Patrick had hurt formed a support group, finding strength in each other. Cassandra won awards for her reporting. The Harringtons retreated from public life, their name tarnished, their power diminished. One afternoon, Damon came to visit. We sat on the porch and talked, really talked, about everything that had happened. I admitted that a part of me would always regret crossing that line, calling him into my life. But I never, for a second, regretted protecting Claire. He just looked at me and said, "Justice isn't always clean, Dennis." A little while later, Claire came out and thanked him. She told him he helped save her life. As the sun set, Claire and I stood there together, watching the colors bleed across the sky. Our world was changed forever, but we were still standing. I had become someone I never thought I could be: stronger, more capable. I learned that protecting the people you love sometimes means stepping into the shadows. I could be a good man, a man who restores old things, but I could also be fierce when I needed to be. And Patrick Harrington, he learned a lesson too. He learned that power has limits. He learned that some people can't be bought or bullied. And he learned that when you hurt the wrong person, you might just awaken a family willing to do whatever it takes to fight back. The debt was paid, the balance was restored. And I knew I would carry that truth forever. Real justice, the kind that matters, often comes from those willing to risk everything. Thanks for watching. If this story resonated with you, please like and subscribe for more.